Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So I've had a few fellow scrappers ask for some help with armatures. They have come across several armatures that are very stubborn. The inner steel rod refuses to come out. They are having difficulties removing the copper wire inside the armature. So they've asked for a few tips and tricks. Do I remove all of the copper from my armatures? What are some of my methods to remove the stubborn ones? So I'm going to answer those questions today with this video. I do have a full video breakdown on armatures whereby the inner rod was easy to remove. Some of them are more easy than others. So I will include the link to that video in my description. So if you're interested, go check that out. And I love armatures. They are found in all types of copper-bearing motors or motors in appliances. And one great thing about these is every one of these armatures are going to contain copper wire. Some of your field motors, the outer windings, have been replaced from copper to aluminum. And that is one reason why some fellow scrappers actually refuse to pick up vacuum cleaners, because they believe that the aluminum windings are not worth it. But in my opinion, all motors are worth getting because they have the copper armature or copper wired armatures. And when you are scrapping, you don't know what type of motor you're going to find. It could be aluminum, it could be copper. And if it is copper, you are going to hit a great score. This copper is all #2 copper, and currently right now in London, Ontario, going for $4.30 a pound. Copper continues to be in our scrappers world, our scrappers gold, and a great item to grab that copper from. So gonna look at a few stubborn ones now. This is kind of the part 2 continuation on stubborn armatures. So couple things that you can come across when finding these. And they do come in different sizes, as you can see. Just to compare all of these, look at the size of this one, and all of this wire, regardless of its color, like this one, a lot nicer, shiny, it is all going to be #2 copper. Someone has asked me about different wire like this. Why is it not bare bright? In order for it to be bare bright, it has to be thicker than 16 gauge. So none of this wire is thicker than 16 gauge. That's about the thickness of the lead of a pencil. So all #2 copper, but again, an excellent price and a great source of that copper. The rest of this motor, once I remove the copper, I can throw the rest of it into my tin shred, get about 10 to 13 cents a pound. And the first item I do want to answer, do I remove all of the copper from these? I will say no. Unfortunately, there are some, for example, this one, you can see the sprockets in there are very narrow. Comparing them, for example, to this one, because they are narrow, they can be more difficult to pull out that copper wire. Items like this that have the heavy or thicker, bigger spokes, very much easier putting a punch through that, feeding the copper through. So if I come across a motor like these ones, again, I will do, but a couple examples of smaller ones. Try to find you one. That one for sure. I am just going to actually throw it right into my copper. This one right here, there's another example. Very small grooves, going to be more difficult to get. So these I will actually just throw right into my copper bearing motors. Get about 25 to 30 cents a pound for these. So that is my first tip. I am not going to waste my time trying to remove the inner wire, but I will go ahead and remove the top part of this. This crown is also copper. There is a little rubber cork, but these outer fins here are copper, so some more #2. But I will cut here with a Sawzall or grinder, get this part of copper, as well as the bottom part as much as I can. So I do remove some of it, but I will not, as shown in this one, remove all of that inner winding. So that is my first tip. The second one, as mentioned, some of them will also have a crown like this. I don't even have to remove this crown. I can try and remove the inner steel rod there. If it doesn't come out, again, my next option is going to be using the Sawzall. But I will try this one right here. Actually, I'll try this one. No, I won't. I'll try this one. So all I'm going to do, put it through my vise Okay, again, that's my first thing I'm going to do. Doesn't matter if the crown is up or down. I'm going to take a heavier hammer and a type of punch. I'm going to feed it through best I can. There we go. So this one does come out. So again, this is actually going to be, if I was to classify this, this is actually a steel rod because it is thicker than a 1/4 inch. All of your metallic items like this, if it's thicker than a 1/4 inch, it's going to be steel, not tin/shred. But because I only have a little bit of this, I'm going to throw it right into my tin shred, save me from going to a different pile in the scrapyard. But that one was easier to do. So now that it is easier to do, it is way easier to pull out these windings because I do no longer have pressure coming from the inner rod. But again, some of them are very stubborn. All of these that you see here, I have tried, and I have purposely saved these for this video. So I cannot remove the bar, so I am going to resort to using a grinder. I have had also some fellow scrappers say what they will do is they will actually use a type of pry punch, if you will, and they will actually just put it between, use a heavy hammer, and as you can see, it has divided because all of these are just individual plates. Once I do that, I can just remove the copper this way, this side, remove the copper out that way. But that cannot be done if there's still the metal rod in the middle. Okay, so that is something you have to be careful of. Just gonna focus on this one. As mentioned, I cannot take out the metal rod. All I'm actually gonna do is use my grinder, or sorry, my Sawzall. In my other video, I did use a grinder. Both are good pieces of my scrapping arsenal. They do leave some copper dust, and I do actually scrap that as well. I will clean off my bench. As you can see, there is a little bit of dust here. I will put on a mask off camera because I do have a lot of it here. I don't want to breathe it in, but for this video, I don't have a mask on. I am going to wear safety glasses, and what I will do with this is I will sweep it up, and I will still throw this into my number 2 copper bag because it is copper. But I have started, for the sake of this video, a little bit of a slice here with my Sawzall. I'm going to finish that right now just to show you, okay, that I don't have to remove that bar. But as mentioned, it does help relieve pressure for sure. Okay, so just putting it on, putting some safety glasses on. Going to finish this slice. Okay, I didn't realize I was all the way through that, but hey, all right, sped it up. Okay, just going to finish removing, cutting that. Okay, so there right here. If I'm using a grinder, it could be warm, so be careful. But look at that nice copper around that. I am just going to break this crown, and once I do that with a hammer, this should slide off. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so there it is. That is number 2. You can see some heavy, heavy glue here. I do probably have to break that off, but the rest of this should just slide off. There it is. So that side, some more steel, some more copper here. Again, that's another reason I wear safety glasses, but these shells, as you can see, that one right there does have some copper, and I will throw that into number 2, but I will weigh it. Because this is number 2, I also do not have to remove that plastic, but I will just kind of peel that as much as I can, but beautiful number 2 copper. The rest of this, I am going to try right now, just for this video, to see if I can actually remove now the bar. If not, that's okay. But just going to try. So you can see it is still stubborn, refusing to come out. Okay, and that's okay because I don't need it out. Now what I'm just going to do is just use a punch again or a flathead screwdriver. Just going to push those downwards so they will come through these spokes. So I'm just going to, again, put it through my vise, grab a, I'm going to try this one, just a flathead screwdriver. Okay. Okay, sometimes it will, because it is circular, it may move around. Okay, but again, just going to hit it with a hammer, loosen up these wires. Okay, but that's all I'm going to do. And now I'm going to turn it around. the wires should start to become loosened. If not, there could be, as you can see right there, some more glue, and sometimes that is also keeping that in. So if that is the case, I'm actually going to try just cutting it again on this side. Okay, not all of them are like this, but for me, I have seen some people say that they throw these into the fire to remove that wax. I don't think it's very environmentally friendly, so I'm not, but I am going to cut this again. And I'm not even going to go all the way through for the video here for the sake of time. There's part of my blooper there, the vibration. So just going to peel that up. There it is right there. Okay, cut that. Should now have removed the glue. Okay, but again, another piece. Now it is starting to come out. So there you go. Pull that pin out of there. There's some more copper. And now that I have the rest of this glue taken off, now I'm going to grab my punch again and just start feeding it through. So there we go. A lot easier now. The wax is removed. Okay. And there you go, you can see those pieces. So I'm just gonna grab this now with a pair of pliers and just pull up. Look at that, there it is, right there. So again, gonna do that all the way around. That way I get all this copper. And for the video, I will include the final copper weight price of these. As mentioned, great item, but if the bar is not coming out, cut both sides, get that glue out. If there is no glue on the one side, you will only have to cut one side of it. But again, some beautiful #2 copper. It continues to stay at a high price. And as mentioned, regardless of the type of a motor, if it's copper or aluminum, all of your armatures are going to be #2 copper. So hopefully that helped with those stubborn armatures. Again, keep the questions coming, the comments. I try my best to get back to people as soon as possible, but life does get in the way, so it may take a little while. But again, I appreciate working with this scrapping community, helping divert these items from the landfill, and helping people maximize their profits. So again, thank you for that. Very easy to do, as mentioned. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.